All right, train's pulled into the station. Here we are at the live stream stop. Oh, well, let's see. Time to do some train songs. All right. And this first one's about taking the night train to Memphis. I don't think I've taken the night train to Memphis, but I've been on a night train in Memphis before. Take that night train to Memphis, take that night train to Memphis. And when you arrive at the station, I'll be right there to meet you, I'll be right there to greet you. So don't turn down my invitation. Oh, hallelujah, oh, hallelujah. We'll be shouting hallelujah all today. We'll have a jubilee way down in Memphis, Tennessee. And I'll shout hallelujah all the way. Take that night train to Memphis, take that night train to Memphis. Oh, darling, I'm longing to see you. Leave at 3:57, arrive at 11, and I'll be shouting hallelujah. Oh, hallelujah, oh, hallelujah. I'll be shouting hallelujah all today. And we'll have a jubilee way down in Memphis, Tennessee. And I'll shout hallelujah all the way. Take that night train to Memphis, take that night train to Memphis. Tell the engineer to pull that throttle open. Keep that engine stack smoking, I'm not kidding, I'm not joking. I'll soon be shouting hallelujah, oh hallelujah, oh hallelujah. I'll be shouting hallelujah all today. Oh, we'll have a jamboree way down in Memphis, Tennessee. And I'll shout hallelujah all today. Oh, hallelujah, hey, hallelujah. I'll be shouting hallelujah all today. And we'll have a jubilee way down in Memphis, Tennessee. And I'll shout hallelujah all the way. Oh, today, oh, today, oh, today. On the night train to Memphis. All right. Well, about to switch up the gear here. I'll go ahead and shuffle some of the papers here at the station. Trying to keep things in order. Here's one about a rail stop that I've been to a handful of times. In Illinois, Tolono, home of the loose cobra. Right below Champaign, Urbana. Was headed for Tolono on the Wabash Cannonball. Norfolk and Western all the way. St. Louis down the line, Detroit somewhere behind. I thought I heard that old conductor say, there's no round-trip ticket, you're on the final run. This cannonball ain't never coming back. Tomorrow she'll just be another memory, an echo down a rusty railroad track. I got off at Tolono, just below Champaign, a flag stop on the edge of yesterday. The whistle blew a song I whispered so long, I waved my hand and slowly walked away. 'Cause there's no round trip ticket, you're on the final run. This cannonball is never coming back. Tomorrow she'll just be another memory, an echo down a rusty railroad track. I think about tomorrow, I wonder why it is we give up all the things we love the most. It's goodbye, you old hog. I guess I'll have to ride the dog until they build a subway coast to coast. There's no round trip ticket, you're on the final run. This cannonball ain't never coming back. Tomorrow she'll just be another memory, an echo down the rusty railroad track. Oh, there's no round trip ticket, you're on the final run. This cannonball ain't never coming back. Tomorrow she'll just be another memory, an echo down a rusty railroad track. Yeah, tomorrow she'll just be another memory, an echo down a rusty railroad track. Yes, Tolono by one Utah Phillips. This will not be the last appearance of Utah Phillips here at this station. Let's see where we go from here. Oh, Utah Phillips is still around. Here's one kind of in the working class vein about hobos and bums. Your bulldozer's rolling through my part of town. The iron ball swings and knocks it all down. You knocked down my flop house, knocked down my bars, blacktopped it all over to park all your cars. And where will I go? Where can I stay? You knocked down the skid road and hauled it away. I'll flag a fast rattler and ride it on down. Boys, they're running the bums out of town. Old Maxie the tailor closing his doors. There ain't nothing left in the second-hand stores. You knocked down my hawk shop and the big harbor lights and the old cafe that was open all night. Where can I go? Oh, where can I stay? You knocked down the skid road and hauled it away. Gonna flag a fast rattler and ride it on down. Boys, they're running the bums out of town. You ran out the hookers that worked on the street, but you built a new club where the playboys can meet. My bookie joint closed when your cops made a raid, but you built a new hall for the stock market trade. Oh, where will I go? Where can I stay? You knocked down the skid road and hauled it away. I'm I'm gonna flag a fast rattler and ride it on down. Boys, you're running the bums out of town. And now I'm finding out there's just one kind of war, the one going on between the rich and the poor. Well, I guess that I don't know too much about class, but the upper and middle can all kiss my ass. 'Cause where will I go and where can I stay? You knock down the skid row and haul it away. I'm gonna flag a fast rattler, ride it on down, boys. 'Cause they're running the bums out of, running the bums out of, running the bums out of town. Oh, yeah. There we go. Well, let's bring the other little guitar back. For she's gone, gone, gone. Well, she said if I ever deceived her, she'd be gone before I could count 10. I guess that I didn't believe her, 'cause just look at the trouble I'm in. And she's gone, 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 gone. Crying won't bring her back. The more that I cry, the faster that train flies farther on down the track. Flying farther on down the track. Oh, I lost every right to be happy when I lost the heaven I'd found. She warned me she'd leave and she left me before my first tear hit the ground. And she's gone, 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 gone. Ride won't bring her back. The more that I cry, the faster that train flies farther on down the track. Flying farther on down the track. Oh, if I only knew where to find her, I'd crawl there on my hands and knees. Each tick of the clock's a reminder that she's 1 second farther from me. And she's gone, 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 gone. Ride won't bring her back. The more that I cry, the faster that train flies farther on down the track. Flying farther on down the track. Flying farther on down the track. Yeah. It's kind of a sad train song. That's fine. Oh man, speaking of sad train songs and all things train related, gonna do one by the guy I know is one of the last real yodeling hobos. An organizer of the Bo Olympics. I've said his name before and I'll say it again. Brody Douglas Hunt. Last time that Brody was in town, he called me up on the landline and he said, "I'm coming in hot. You gotta pick me up. I'm gonna hop off the train." I asked him where he was gonna hop off. He didn't know yet. He called me back and he gave me the specific location where we had hopped off. I found the bridge, and he was sitting near the bridge on a bucket with his guitar out. We went and lost some meat bingo. Had a good time. Hitchhiking out of Georgia in the rain. For the life of me, I could not catch that Birmingham train. You gotta take me out of nowhere by the seat of my pants, 'cause my dog is getting cold and my guitar's getting damned. Now as far as I've been told, they done pulled up all the tracks, took them down to the scrap yard, and there ain't no getting them back. Far as I can see, there ain't no more you and me. So I guess I best just move it on down the line. Here I am in town, born at dawn, in time to see the Pacific dogwoods blooming strong. All I have are memories, and those memories are sour. The times we spent together, how my love made me a coward. Now as far as I've been told, they done pulled up all the tracks, take them down to the scrap yard, and there ain't no getting them back. And as far as I can see, there ain't no more you and me. So I guess I'll just have to move it on down the line. 'Cause my dog is getting cold and my guitar's getting damp. Oh, Brody. If you're ever out in Asheville, North Carolina, just ask him where Brody is. Oh, well, that's a couple things. Here's one. For all y'all out there that are on the Parrot Head line. Now, I learned this song from Lefty Frizzell singing it. But it was written by one Jimmy Buffett. Buffett or Buffet? The buffet's open. And while we're at it, this is one I've recorded. You can't, the lighting. There you go. You can kind of see the record there, the CD. Yeah. Focal Point Recordings, Volume 1. Oh yeah, and it's a guitar again. Oh, yeah. She's a railroad lady, just a little bit shady, spending her days on the train. She's a semi-good looker, but the fast rails, they took her. Now she's trying to get home again. South stations of Boston to the stockyards of Austin, from the Florida sunshine to the New Orleans rain. Now that the rail packs have taken the best tracks, she's trying, just trying to get home again. She's a railroad lady, just a little bit shady, from spending her life on the train. Once a Pullman car traveler, now the brakeman won't have her. She's trying, just trying to get home again. Once a highballing loner thought he could own her. He bought her a fur coat and a big diamond ring. She hocked him for cold cash, left town on the Wabash, never thinking of home way back then. She's a railroad lady, just a little bit shady, spending her days on the train. She's a semi-good looker, but the fast rails, they took her. Now she's trying, just trying to get home again. But the rails are now rusty, the dining car's dusty, the gold-plated watches have taken their toll. The railroads are dying, and the lady, she's crying, on a bus to Kentucky and home, that's her goal. She's a railroad lady, just a little bit shady, spending her life on the train. Once a Pullman car traveler, now the brakeman won't have her. She's trying, just trying to get home again. On a bus to Kentucky, is heading home again. All right. Well, a mention of the Pullman cars. See what time it is. Making good time. A mention of the Pullman cars. Pullman was a company out of Chicago, and they owned a whole whole neighborhood that they housed their employees in. When the Pullman car company started not quite doing as well as they thought they would, they started laying off all their employees or giving them part-time instead of full-time. I mean, the wages went down, but the rent stayed the same. It's like the company just owned their employees and were taking them for all they were worth. So they organized, largely under Eugene V. Debs, a lot of protests, where Pullman cars were specifically blockaded from getting into several towns, including St. Louis. But this was about a little over 100 years ago. And it was not a novelty then, and it's still not a novelty today, that the federal government was called in to send military to squash the working class. Just something to think about. Oh, and working class, working on the railway. I'm a little bit Irish, from the McGrath family, as we say here in the New World. McGrath, as they say in the old. Here's one about the Irish working on the railway over there, over here, and beyond. In 1841, I put my corduroy breeches on. I put my corduroy breeches on to work upon the railway, the railway. I grow weary of the railway. Poor Patty works on the railway. In 1842, from Bartley Pool, I moved to Crewe. Found myself a job to do, working on the railway. I was wearing corduroy breeches, digging ditches, folding switches, dodging hitches. I was working on the railway. In 1843, I broke my shovel across my knee. I went to work for the company in the Leeds and Selby Railway. I was wearing corduroy breeches, digging ditches, pulling switches, dodging hitches. I was working on the railway. In 1844, I landed upon the Liverpool shore. My belly was empty, my hands were sore from working on the railway, the railway. I grow weary of the railway. Poor Patty works on the railway. In 1845, when Daniel O'Connell was alive, Daniel O'Connell was alive and working on the railway. I was wearing corduroy breeches, digging ditches, pulling switches, dodging hitches. I was working on the railway. In 1846, I changed my trade from carrying bricks, changing my trade from carrying bricks to work upon the railway. I was wearing corduroy breeches, digging ditches, pulling switches, dodging hitches. I was working on the railway. In 1847, poor Patty was thinking of going to heaven. Poor Patty was thinking of going to heaven to work upon the railway, the railway. I'm weary of the railway. Poor Patty works on the railway. And I was wearing corduroy breeches, digging ditches, pulling switches, dodging hitches. I was working on the railway. And I was wearing corduroy breeches, digging ditches, pulling switches, dodging hitches. I was working on the railway. Oh, yeah. Well, that's a fun one. All right. Well, another train's coming in here soon. I got to do one more before they get down here. Singing you about the hobos again. Here's one that was made popular by a lot of folks. Most commonly attributed to the Guthries, Arlo, and Woody. But recorded by another fellow named Goebel Reeves before Woody recorded it. Although Goebel still says that Woody was his inspiration. So who was the first yodeling hobo? Time has not told us. Go to sleep, you weary hobo, and let the towns drift slowly by. Can't you hear the steel rails humming? That's the hobo's lullaby. I know your clothes are torn and ragged, and your hair is turning gray. But lift your head and smile at trouble. You'll find peace and rest someday. So don't you worry about tomorrow. Let tomorrow come and go. Tonight you're in a nice warm boxcar, safe from all that wind and snow. No, you're safe from the wind and snow. I know the police cause you trouble. They cause trouble everywhere. But when you die and go to heaven, you'll find there's no policeman there. So go to sleep, you weary hobo, and let the towns drift slowly by. Listen to the steel rails softly humming. That's a hobo's lullaby. It's a hobo's lullaby. All right, another train pulling into the station. Oh boy, oh boy. Better get ready, get ready. Take a look around. Oh, hello, Railroad Kelly.
That was quite a wild ride.
Well, then, you're probably glad to hop off the train. There's a fiddle around here somewhere. All right. Well, as the sign says about here, I guess the train stops when we're swinging, so we got to start swinging. 1, 2, 3. I can hear an old train coming. Wow, 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 wow. It's bringing me my honey. Wow, 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 wow. Gonna hop off the train, I'm gonna skip down the lane, back into my baby's arms. I'm gonna hop, skip, and jump to the old door, and then I'll ring a little bell and start to yell that I'm back home again. For baby, I'll be mighty glad just to see my old dad and tell him of the city's charms. I've seen Georgia, Carolina, and all of the rest, but first of all, I'm gonna call the one that I love best. I'm gonna hop off the train, I'm gonna skip down the lane, jump into my baby's arms. I've been roaming around from town to town, and now I think I'll start back home. And now I'm going back to that dear old shack. Never no more will I roam. I'll be singing a song as the train rolls along by that dear old cabin door. I'll see my father and my mother and all of the rest, and soon I'll be resting in my home out in the west. I'll be shouting hooray when I see the kids at play, when I reach that dear old home. Skip down the lane, jump into my baby's arms. I'm gonna hop, skip, and jump to the old door, and then I'll ring a little bell and start to yell that I'm back home again. For baby, I'll be mighty glad just to see my old dad and tell him of the city's charms. I've seen Georgia, Carolina, and all of the rest, but first of all, I'm gonna call the one that I love best. I'm gonna hop off the train, gonna skip down the lane, jump into my baby's arms. I can hear an old train coming. Wow, 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 wow. It's bringing me my honey. Wow, wow, wow. Well, you may have to scoot in a little bit more this way. You're getting hidden behind a banjo signal a little bit. Oh, where was this thing? Okay, down here. All right, let's check the schedule. All right. Oh, another appearance by Utah Phillips. Which reminds me that I gotta find where harmonicas are.
Hope you didn't leave him on the train.
Oh boy, that wouldn't be the. Yes. One moment. Oh, here we go. We're in the baggage department. All right. Starlight on the rails. 1, 2, 3. I can hear the whistle blowing, high and lonesome as can be. Outside the rain is softly falling, and I know it's falling just for me. Looking back upon the road I've traveled, each mile can tell a million tales, and each year's like some rolling freight train, and cold as starlight on the rails. I think about my wife and family, my home and all the things it means. The black smoke rolling out behind me is like a string of broken dreams. Looking back upon the road I've traveled, each mile can tell It's cold as starlight on the rail. A man who lives out on the highway is like a clock that can't tell time. A man who spends his life a-rambling is like a song without a rhyme. Looking back upon the road I traveled, each mile can tell a million tales, and each year, just like some rolling freight train, is cold as starlight on the rails. And each year, just like some rolling freight train, is cold as starlight on the rail. I guess it's not really a train set until harmonica shows up. Okay. Oh. Whew. It is indeed getting hot over here. Yeah, this can just go live over there. Oh boy. Okay. I'm gonna pull from the cup here. Oh. Cheers.
Cheers. And cheers to you fine folks there at the station.
All right, here we're gonna do one. This was a hit back, I think, in the 40s or something. I don't know. You movie trivia people know this. A movie called The Harvey Girls, where Judy Garland did this song. The Harvey Girls were a group of women employed by I think it was Fred Harvey, Fred or Frank. I'm gonna go with Fred. He had worked on the railroad. Originally he was from England. He moved to New York. He moved to New Orleans. He moved to St. Louis. And when he was in St. Louis, he started working on the riverboats and then taking a train from Hannibal to, I think it was St. Joseph or somewhere near St. Joseph. Started working on that. And he noticed how terrible the food was. It was just a bunch of beans. And they weren't good beans. And so he decided that he was going to change the service industry standards for the railroads. And he opened a chain called the Harvey House that was popular all across the country. And he was working with the Santa Fe Railroad line. And the Harvey Girls were the waitresses and probably several other things that were setting a standard for service industry, not only on the railroad, but in general. A very regimented and planned out service industry. And the offer for these women was pretty much you come and you learn to be an excellent service industry worker, and then you'll be on the train and you go out west. And it was something like 5,000 of them wound up marrying like wealthy ranchers. So yeah, it was quite an ordeal. But the movie The Harvey Girls was about that, and this song was in the movie. But we're not going to do it like it was done in the movie. We're doing it the Missouri way. So if you want to find it, and it sounds like this, you have to look for Slim Wilson, who was the star of the Ozark Opry back in the day. But he wasn't even doing this under his name. He was doing this as part of his comedy duo with Goo Goo Rutledge, called Flash and Whistler. Our version's not quite as funny as theirs. Close enough. Do you hear that whistle coming down the line? I figure that it's engine number 49. She's the only one that'll sound that way on the accent to begin Santa Fe, 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 Fe. See the old smoke rising around the bend, and I reckon she knows she's gonna meet a friend. Folks around here get the time of day from the accent to begin Santa Fe, 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 Fe. Here she comes. Ooh. Hey, Jimmy, better get the red. Ooh. She got a list of passengers pretty big, and they all want to ride to Brown's Hotel because they all been traveling for quite a spell. All the way from Philadelphia on the accent to begin Santa Fe, 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 Fe. Back in Ohio, where I come from, I've done a lot of dreaming and traveled some, but I never thought I'd see the day when I ever took a ride on Santa Fe, 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 Fe. When I'm old and gray and settled down, if I ever get a chance to sneak away from town, I'll spend my busman's holiday on the accent began Santa Fe, 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 Fe. Here she comes. Hey, Jimmy, better get the rig. Ooh. She got a list of passengers pretty big, and they all want to live to Brown's Hotel because they all been traveling for quite a spell. All the way from Philadelphia on the accent begun Santa Fe, 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 Fe. I was leaning across my windowsill, hear the wind so echoing across the hill. I've watched the lights till they fade away on the accent began Santa Fe, 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 Fe. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, that one's a workout. That's a real workout. Before you put that on, one of the things that used to entice the railroad workers so much so was the whiskey. So we're going to have ourselves a bit of this. It enticed the railroad workers so much that I can't remember his name, but the boss of the West Coast line was a big scary man with an eye patch on and definitely not a very humane individual. He decided that he would upcharge the whiskey sellers so much for bringing whiskey to his men. He started charging them more to get water for their horses. And then that didn't work, so he just beat them nearly to death. No, we don't have that kind of boss. Cheers to us and the Old Granddad Club. All right. Woo. Okay, well, one more here for you.
This will be the only song in Ryan's live stream history that's been a repeat.
Yeah. I'm a little new to this live stream line. This is our 10th run. And it reminds me of also why we got to get out of here soon. There's the turkey flyer is coming into the station, the live stream station. And they say the engineer is kind of a clown, but he's also a Presley, so I think he's all right. And this is a well, they had 48 runs, and then they got a little derailed for a while. Well, they came back yesterday, and they running fine. But tonight marks their 50th run, so we're all speaking the name. So they're coming to our rescue here shortly, get us out of this old depot. And as far as this live stream station next week, I'm just gonna give a review of all the ones that I've been doing. Just taking questions, taking suggestions. What you might want to see next, because when this quarantine started, it seemed like this might all be over by now, but it's not. So I got to figure out what more songs and things I can do. So we'll be talking and sitting around having beers. So yeah, if you got something to ask me or tell me, next week's a good time. But here's Railroad Bill.
The midnight lantern of the brakeman's hand. I'm gonna ride old Railroad Bill. Railroad Bill, he took my wife. Said if I don't like it, then he'd take my life. I'm gonna ride old Railroad Bill. Everybody ever done me harm, I'm gonna ride old Railroad Bill. 38 special on a 45 frame. How can I miss when I got that aim? I'm gonna ride old Railroad Bill. I quit you while the weather is cool. I'm gonna ride old Railroad Bill. Railroad Bill, Railroad Bill. He never worked and he never will. I'm gonna ride old Railroad Bill. Railroad Bill, Railroad Bill. He never worked and he never will. I'm gonna ride old Railroad Bill.
All right. Thank you all very much for coming along for the ride here. And we'll be seeing you a bit down the line.